Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here, excited to go over another Masterverse new Eternia figure, this time Wave 13, that's right. We're taking a look at new Eternia Thunder Punch He-Man. Just take a look at him. Isn't that awesome? Looking dynamite. Just amazing looking action figure. Looking forward to breaking this one open. The artwork wraps around over to the side. You see Snake Mountain and the gate there highlighted on the corner. And then there's some product shots of our Thunder Punch He-Man. Awesome looking shots there, so showing off some of the accessories that he comes with, as well as a really neat bio. If you'd like to pause and read that, very interesting bio. Check that out. Then you see the other selling points, and we will be reviewing those in short order. Hang tight with us, we'll get to them. And then you see another artwork display on the bookend. Really nice looking He-Man, Thunder Punch He-Man. Really awesome. Loving it. Then you've got Masterverse on the top. There's the barcode. So let's come over here to New Eternia and check out our Thunder Punch He-Man with some New Eternia friends. And here we are in New Eternia, getting ready to take a look at none other than Thunder Punch He-Man, and there he is. Let's first take a look at his accessories. First of all, Thunder Punch Man comes with a set of balled up fisted hands, tightly fisted hands that are horizontally hinged, as well as two weapon holding hands. His right one is vertically hinged and his left one is horizontally hinged. And you can see his chest armor, which also includes, well, at least partly and matching, these almost arm braces looking things. Looks like he's had tricep surgery or something, and has to have these specialized arm braces. But they have a hole similar to what we saw with the first New Eternia Battle Armor He-Man, and to put his shield apparently there, and he's got one on that side too, so you'll have the option of strapping on that shield here as you see his shield. And then you see also he comes with a gold, which is really cool, power sword. Not the Revelation or Revolution style power sword, but I guess our New Eternia style power sword. He also comes with these round cap style devices, and you see you have a red one, which is reminiscent to what we had in the original He-Man 5 1/4 size back in the 80s, as well as we got one, of course they would work back then with the gimmick, but it also got one with the classics, but was not a workable cap, so to speak. But it does have the backpack, which when you turn it makes a clicking noise, and you see there's a gold one up inside there, if you see just a little bit, which turns when you turn the knob, so you hear a little clicking sound. But that one can be removed, and you could put that one, if you want to, behind the gold sword and have it in the shield, and put the red one up in here if you would like. It just falls right in place, matching up with the little gear wheel, and then you just close it, it snaps in place, and then you can turn the knob and hear the clicking sound. So there's his backpack. Really cool. And then, as I said, if you wish, you can then take your shield and you can pull the sword out, and you can put this gold one in there, and it will lay flush in there. It doesn't pop in or snap in, but if you put the sword back in place, it does hold it in place so it doesn't fall out. So you can either put the red one or the gold one up inside there. And then on the other side, you have the peg so that you can peg it in to his arm gauntlet brace, arm brace looking things. Now the only difference here, this is more of a just pretty much a flat gray. There may be a little bit of a shine to it, but not much. It was all mirror coated like in the original, back in the original 5 1/4 Thunder Punch He-Man. And then it was also a mirror color that Thunder Punch He-Man and Classics came with. But we'll do that in comparisons. But then finally, we also have 2 Thunder Punch, clear Thunder Punch type lightning effects or swishing effects or power effects, whatever you want to call them, for both of his fisted hands, as we showed you earlier, instead of just getting one of these. In the past, Thunder Punch He-Man pretty much, even in Origins, I believe, only came with one. But in this Masterverse version, we get 2, which is awesome. And that rounds out all of his accessories. So now, let's take a look at our Thunder Punch He-Man's articulation. And bringing on our Thunder Punch He-Man a little closer so we can see him. And you see I've got him kind of rigged up here. I did strap a fist on that left hand as well as one of the Thunder Punch effect pieces there, as you can see. And also I wanted to show you that you can also place his shield and sword in the peg hole on that little turn dial. So that's cool. With that peg and that peg hole, it'll snap right there. As well, you can snap his shield on his right arm, right inside of that peg, so that you have it strapped on his side. And of course you can bring it on over here so that he'll have his shield attached to that gauntlet. And you can do that on this side as well if you were to plug the fist in on the right side, which is the horizontally hinged weapon holding hand side. But either way you want to do it, you can do it. That's really cool that we have more options, so that's really neat. But moving on to the articulation, we'll go ahead and remove these items here so you can see him. He's going to be able to look up a good amount, as you see there. He's going to be able to look down a good amount. He has no pivot whatsoever. It's kind of frozen there as far as pivot. It's not really going to pivot. And, you know, there's debate again on this head sculpt. Almost seems like the eyes are not quite right. Almost looks like an older He-Man. His face is sunken a little bit. I mean, I can see how they were trying to maybe almost duplicate that vintage Classics head, or the Classics head maybe, but I don't know. It still looks like there's something off about it. Love to know what you feel about this face, but it almost as though there's just something about those eyes that are just not, I don't know, are they too big, or is there just too much white space there? Love the pupils. They did a really good job, and the paintwork is good. But I don't know, it just doesn't, it just looks kind of strange to me. And it seems to be more the eyes than anything. You tell me what you think. But anyway, moving on to our articulation. He's going to be able to hit a T-pose, of course. Yes, he has the ability to go full 360s because these arm braces are not attached to the actual red chest harness. He does have bicep swivel and double jointed elbows, which are not restricted by this arm brace because there's a hinge. Just like with an arm brace, you have a hinge on both sides, which is pretty cool. And I guess technically you could remove this because you can pop off, of course, your wrist and your hands, plus that gauntlet is removable. When I took the hand off and put the fist on, this fell right off, so it's not glued at all. So I guess you could kind of slide that off, but I'm not going to do it here on camera, but just showing you that you can. The articulation on this side is the same, other than the fact that, again, you have the vertical hinge for the sword on that side. So I love that. Again, I appreciate Mattel hearing fans out about that. He's going to be able to crunch forward a great amount. really looks like our vintage and classics Thunder Punch He-Man there, doesn't he? And then he will bend back a decent amount as well, but he gets that fluid, really nice diaphragm all the way around, as well as being able to turn very fluidly with that tripod. Then you also have a very nice waist swivel. He's going to get full splits just like all of them. He does have the drop down method here going on, as well as your thigh cut. He also has double jointed knees and the boot cut, as well as your foot being able to go full tiptoe. It's going to be able to go up all the way, as well as excellent rockers with the peg hole in the bottom of the boot. So bravo, excellent work with this Thunder Punch He-Man. His articulation is fluid and wonderful and smooth. Not too tight, not too loose. I would say he's just right. I really like him. I'd be tempted to even give this dude a 10 out of 10 if he had, in my opinion, a better head sculpt as far as the face, the way the face looks. But again, I'm going to leave that up to you, but I definitely give him high marks. I really like this He-Man. His loincloth is a little bit of a, I don't know, poopy brown compared to what we've seen in the other ones. You see the orange here. So he definitely has a lot of classics, you know, characteristics, but in the classics and the vintage, the belt was red as well. But the boots are also that same lighter brown color with kind of a off-white, almost a grayish off-white color to the fur instead of that bright white like we've seen in some of them. But that is our Thunder Punch He-Man. Cool. Now let's do some comparisons. Looking at our Thunder Punch He-Man in classics form next to our Masterverse New Eternia Thunder Punch He-Man, we can definitely see that our Masterverse Thunder Punch He-Man is taller. Our classics Thunder Punch He-Man definitely had that mirror type, very high gloss metallic paint on the chest armor as well as the shield. Now you see a little bit more of a shine to the chest armor metal look than you do in the actual shield in the Masterverse New Eternia He-Man. But I think I actually prefer, I wish this had been a little bit more metallic, kind of like this, but I think I prefer this over the shiny mirror style, me personally. But as a collector, I'm glad to have both because this is just awesome. It's unique and it's definitely vintage looking and a throwback to the, you know, vintage 5.25 size, you know, He-Man back in the 80s. And you can see that this Thunder Punch effect that is on the classics has a little bit more of a almost a glow-in-the-dark plastic look, or a translucent. I mean, both are translucent, but this one's lighter. And then the one that came with our New Eternia, it's a little bit more of a yellow color, but very similar in style. This one's larger, of course, but that one is a lot lighter. And then, of course, our power sword is a actual kind of a, like I said, that I call it a glow-in-the-dark color. It's not really yellow, but it's not clear either, but it is translucent. But you can see there, I use that particular power sword for my Hebrew action figure in classics. But I like the fact they went with the gold instead of another translucent here with the tinted colors. I think that was a good choice, me personally, so I like that. But of course, you can see that he has his backpack, and there's a little bit more detail, of course, to the classics. And that one also opens and allows for you to put the cap, and that is removable, that little red cap behind the sword there on the shield. You can put that on the inside, and you can turn the dial on that one, but it doesn't click like the Masterverse one. So they did add a little bit to it. And of course, there again, there is a little bit a greater quality of the plastic and just the overall feel of the classics Thunder Punch He-Man compared to our New Eternia Masterverse Thunder Punch He-Man. But there you have it. And just in case you want to just see there on the back, you see there's no silver trim or anything, but there is that hole in the back of the turn dial, and the turn dial does click when you turn it, but just not as much detail. And that is removable. That backpack and chest armor is removable with the little peg strap system on this Thunder Punch He-Man. So it definitely works. But there you have them. There's Classics Thunder Punch He-Man alongside of our new Eternia Thunder Punch He-Man. Looking awesome. Cool. And next, here is our Classics He-Man that has the classic vintage style head attached to him, like the Ultimates came with, and you also were able to get it packed in with, I think it was, well, it was a different figure, but anyway, you were able to put this classic vintage head on your Classics He-Man back in the Classics era. And I believe that's the face they were going for here, but again, it was a huge miss. I mean, this vintage Classics head, I think, just nailed it as far as the balance between what they were going for, which was to look like the original He-Man head from the vintage, but stay true also to a Classics detail. Again, the same company. I'm going to be repetitive, as I've heard others say, the same company, but yet they just can't get it right this time. Don't understand, Mattel. But, you know, you may love this head sculpt here, and I definitely see what they were going for. But again, it just looks like something is off when you look at how nicely executed that head sculpt is. I mean, that He-Man just looks good. And I was going to mention, I forgot to mention earlier in comparisons with our Thunder Punch He-Man, that this is more the original Classics He-Man head sculpt, but more pale. His skin was all pale. He had the red belt, whereas this one has the orange belt. But this tan that he has is closer to your original He-Man look there, I believe. But there you have a comparison of those head sculpts there. And here is a look at a lot of our He-Man action figures. There's our Revelation He-Man with a Hordak MX head sculpt with some customized painting. There's our new Eternia Thunder Punch He-Man that we've looked at today. And there is the Revolution Battle Armor He-Man with that face sculpt. And you can kind of see the comparison there of the faces. Again. And then there is our new Eternia Viking style He-Man. And then there is the 40th anniversary He-Man body with face. Again, that one I think was also trying to mimic that vintage head sculpt. But again, something was off. Something just not quite right about that face or this face. And then we have our new Eternia Battle Armor He-Man, sporting the beard there and the disheveled hair. And then we have again our Revolution He-Man again, but instead of the Battle Armor gear, that's just a regular He-Man gear with that same head sculpt. And then there is Movie He-Man, but that's also not the original head. It was awful. Mattel's version of it was awful, so I got a Hordak MX head sculpt that he made that looks more like the actor. And so there we have a good representation of some He-Man head sculpts and body styles and chest armor and the like. But there you see how they match up. Thank you so much for joining us for this Thunder Punch He-Man action figure review. Super Dave always enjoys you tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Here are some photos in the photo gallery. Be blessed.